Welcome everybody to another live edition online Zoom meeting, Super Investor meeting.
How you doing?
What's going on, guys? I'm joined.
We're here, babe.
Hey, Curtis.
I'm joined by three of my favorite people in the world,
Eddie
which
Gant.
are the two guys that aren't on. And then these two guys, Eddie Gant, Johnny Hayes, and then there's the fantastic Richard Drake.
Denny Crane. He's Denny Crane.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh.
It sounds like,
Golly.
is that
Somebody
WKLP in
does.
Cincinnati joke?
Rich, we can't hear you.
Okay.
Rich
Oh
is
gosh,
muted.
this is like a.
Oh, that's a good one there.
There you
Hey
go.
Eddie, would you lose another bar fight or something?
Yeah, I got in a gang fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of an old injury. I was up there in Waco one day, stopped in Twin Peaks. Some bikers are hanging around in there, and this biker guy got smart with me in the bathroom. I slapped him upside the head, and all hell broke loose up there at Waco in the Twin
There's a
Peaks.
shooting going on down there after that, huh?
Yeah, something like that. No, rotator cuff surgery.
Feeling
He
better?
was trying to make a comeback for the Astros, and
Yeah.
it didn't go good.
They brought me out of the bullpen 3 straight days, tore my rotator cuff.
The rookie.
High 80s just won't cut it anymore in the
Well,
major.
if you it don't matter as long as you got movement. You ain't gonna say nothing?
No, I'm not. Hey, I'm just here for my expertiseness, not for my commentary.
I know that's right.
What's new and interesting that's going on? Eddie joined my my podcast, the Nailed It podcast.
Yeah.
He did an amazing pre-surgery show.
Yeah.
You did great.
Walked out of there and right in the operating room.
I think that I just want to say this for everyone that's going to watch. It's less about real estate and more just about Eddie personally, which I really thought was great because you let some insight into stuff that you're investing in other than just real estate, which I thought was fantastic. And it felt really like a good conversation. We weren't arguing like we do most of the time when we're here at this table.
Well, how about that?
And then I brought some paper
We call this data.
with some digits on there that we can debrief and go over as you tell us about the stuff that you text over earlier this week. The actives in HAR are at what today?
11,800.
And that is almost 1 year and 1 year and 2 days since everything shut down.
Yeah, on my board back there, it's written, I believe the number is 18,044. Is what's written on I call it COVID Monday,
Okay.
March 9th, 2020. And I call it COVID Monday because the next day, Tuesday, is when they shut down the Houston Rodeo.
Right.
The next day, Wednesday, is when they shut down college NCAA basketball tournament. And then college baseball and then NBA are all in there together. Yeah. So 1 year.
1 year. And a lot of people have done some pausing. A lot of people have done some pivoting. And if you are a professional real estate investor who's been slapped or kicked in the crotch a couple of times by the economy or the market, then you reposition.
Yeah. Well, this deal is a good news, bad news for investors, what we're experiencing. I mean, we're going from 18,000 houses to 11,000, almost 12,000, but under 12,000. Everything's just flying off the shelf. It's good news, bad news. The good news is if you're an investor and you're in the flip business and you buy a house, you're going to be able to sell it. It's going to sell. It's going to move. You're not going to carry it very long. The bad news is it's more competitive to get them. The general public reads the paper or reads the internet articles now, I should say. They hear it on the radio. They hear this. They know. So a lot of folks are holding tighter, holding their number a little higher than most investors can or should pay. So that's making them a little more tough to buy at the numbers we want to buy at. And again, that's the key right there, the numbers we want to buy at. You can go buy them all if you want to pay full price. But if you're going to buy them at a good discount, it's a little tougher right now.
I just bought one yesterday.
Oh, no. I mean, we've seen this over the last 17 years that we've been lending here in Houston, where the market goes this way, this way, this way. And I can tell you every time, it doesn't matter if we're in a good time or if we're going down, if you're doing things the right way and adjust and stay ahead of it, you make money in every market.
That's right.
So that's your key. You know, right now it's a seller's market. The buyers, you got to be a little more frugal or go out and work a little harder, find those deals that just ain't out there for everybody, and you'll go out and you can still find some deals.
What adjustments are the successful investors, flippers making?
Oh, today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what I think you're running into today. You're running into more and more landlords out there. People understand the wholesale market. They're not selling to flippers today. They're selling to landlords. A landlord will seem to pay more than what a flipper needs to pay because they're building it for long-term wealth. You know, they've got cash that they may want to take out of the stock market, or they want to diversify their investments. So they don't mind putting cash down on a buy and hold property because the appreciation over the next 10 years, plus the principal pay down of their notes, that's where they make all their money's building wealth. Okay. A flipper has to buy with equity today. And if he doesn't have equity, he can't sell it and make the money. So that's why most wholesalers are selling to landlords.
Right.
So you're saying if you're a flipper today, then you need to be doing one thing, and that's repositioning yourself to becoming a landlord. So you need to get your credit right. You need to kind of clean your house up and get your financials straight, or you need to partner with someone who's got
I think
some
that's
cash.
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a piece of it. But the other piece is you got, and I want Rich to jump in. We're kind of hogging it. Rich, let me finish my sentence and you jump right in. If you're gonna remember, you flip for cash, you hold for wealth. But if you're gonna flip because of cash flow and money today, then you just got to work a little harder and dig a little deeper and get a little deeper in the neighborhood and find them. Okay, they're there. We're still doing flip loans every day, but they're not as plentiful as they were in 2008.
Right.
Okay, is my point.
No.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eddie. It's you know, you and I have had this discussion a dozen times that Ken D'Angelo, the fellow that started, you know, Home Investors of America, you know, 4 to 6% of the deals out there are going to be in some kind of distressed position, and they need to sell. They're not in a position to do a retail deal, and it just is. You got to be the one in front of that seller when the time's right.
Regardless of market situation is what
absolutely.
You're saying. That's right.
Now, when the market's terrible, you know, there's a lot of people out there that aren't necessarily real distressed. They just don't want to mess with it, so they sell at a discount, right? So you get an increased number of deals floating around. But with what we're seeing now, I'm not sure if people are really grasping how big of a deal it is. This number of units on the market. You got to think about all the factors that are playing in here, and I'm going to try off the top of my head to think of all of them. Timber prices are normal. Lumber prices are triple, we were paying $7 a sheet for some OSB a year and a half ago, and it's $35, 5 times as expensive. So framing packages are, you know, Curtis could speak to the cost of framing packages more than we can, but over double, sometimes triple the cost. So it's even harder to build affordable housing today, right? It's just that much harder. The inventory is not there. There are people buying houses they don't even want because their house is sold and they got nowhere to go. You know, so the demand for the 2,000 and below rental property is as high as it's ever been. There's nobody building that product. So if you can buy these houses in these fringe neighborhoods that are okay but kind of turning, and Eddie, you and I've been doing this for 20 years plus. You know, buy a house for $20,000 and 10, 15 years later it's worth 300, you know. And that's what happens is these neighborhoods are turning one by one, two by two. Even the ones that are already good neighborhoods, what you would call a good neighborhood, a Missouri City $130,000 neighborhood. It's going to be a $200,000 neighborhood before you blink. So the real money is not necessarily at all in buying a steal. The real money is in being able to hold. And with rates, you know, we got a perfect storm here to buy and hold. With rates the way they are, they're so dang. You get 4 and change for investment property, non-Fannie Mae.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. There's no reason not to do that and get as many as you can right now because this opportunity is not going to last forever. They're going to appreciate like a banshee. I don't know
And
what
you're
other
still
word to
going to
say.
need a flip loan in order to get into that property. So that
Possibly
you can turn
so, yeah.
around and, so
Yeah,
you can
unless
turn
you
around
have
and refi out.
unless you have private money or you have a big line of credit where you can dump them on and then get them, or go to renterswarehouse.com and check out our inventory for occupied rentals. We have them on our website. We own a nationwide repository of homes for sale that are sometimes in portfolios of occupied rentals. So there's ways to do it, guys. If you want occupied rentals, we can help. I bet you Eddie has some he might sell. There's always occupied rentals, and that's a turnkey deal. You go straight into your long term. Eddie can help you with that kind of loan. Johnny, they're just, the opportunity right now is bigger than most people are paying attention to.
And I think most folks know it because since COVID hit, as we talked about March of last year, our business and all of our friends that we know in this business, the business has been very, I'm going to say brisk. I don't want to say business as usual because that'd be lying. But it's been pretty damn good and pretty damn brisk. And the phone rings regularly and your email rings regularly, doesn't it?
Every day.
Yeah. Of people either buying and holding or buying and fixing up and reselling for a profit. Buying and flipping. It's brisk.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question. I threw it out on email to my buddies here the other a couple of days ago. When we went down below 12, how low does it go before it turns and the inventory starts coming up? And I don't mean come up for a day. I mean comes up, consistently over months and months and months. How low does it go? Because we're at historical numbers now.
I don't know if it's a how low will it go. I wonder. I think it's a when will it start to turn? Like how many months?
That's valid.
Because my thing is when the permitting office goes back to being full time at the permitting office, and they can unload those permits one at a time, whether it's a remodel and an addition or new construction. I think
what's that going to do to existing inventory? What's that going to do?
What it's going to do to existing inventory is a lot of people who are under contract on ground or dirt. They can't list their property for sale. So I think that there's pent up inventory, and you have all these people that are sitting in the whatever you call it, the eviction, and they can't even evict. I think once those are released, then bam. So it's really like a when will that happen? When does this storm, perfect storm for renovation and remodeling and new construction happen? And when does the floodgates open up for eviction?
Well, I don't think we know the answers, but we will say this: historically, right now in the early March and April, when people start putting their houses on the market, that either want to go to a new school district or, so technically you're going to see that with the COVID and the vaccines. I think people are loosening up a little bit more, thinking it's going to get back to normal. So if I were to guess, I would think we're getting about as low as we're going to get, and we're going to see more and more. I've seen 5 houses in my neighborhood go on the market in the last week, and I only have 32 houses in my little cul-de-sac neighborhood. And the reason being is I think you're getting ready for that March and April push, and they're either going to downgrade or upgrade or do different things.
Those 5 come active, but we've been down to 11,795.
That's right.
If those 5 wouldn't come active,
and there's a big shuffle happening too, guys. We've talked about this as well. As there's folks that are living inside the loop, and they say, you know what? I think after this COVID deal happened, I want a little elbow room.
That's right.
Right.
No doubt
so people are moving to the country or moving to a subdivision, a suburb or way out in the country. I think this is going to really, really affect land prices in the greater Houston area out to, the Brenhams, Columbuses, past Cypress, Navasota, all that. You've got this satellite internet service coming through that's going to be incredible. So, it's not going to be a restriction. There's a lot of house shuffling about to happen, which is good for us.
Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, it all goes back to the base law of economics, supply and demand. There's more demand than there is supply right now. That's what it boils down to. And there's lots of
true.
reasons for that.
Do you see what Steve just said?
Yeah,
He
I
listed
saw
his
it.
property, sold 6 offers in 8 hours. Where was your house at? If you can just go ahead and add to the
I know
thread.
Steve. I did. Was that an investment home or the home
Yeah,
you live in?
that's what I'm kind of asking.
Yeah.
Is where was
Steve,
it located?
Steve, tell us on another.
You can add John to the
tell us another chat
screen.
message there if it's your personal home or an investment home, and
then where was it located?
Yeah, generally speaking, where I know Steve. Steve, good
Yeah,
guy.
he said Cypress. What he's telling me is he didn't ask enough.
Maybe he can bid them up. He got 6 offers. Maybe he can bid them up.
Man, is this
Come
the
on,
same?
man.
I wonder if that's the same Steve that I went to Chili's with a couple of weeks ago.
I know Steve.
Yeah.
All right. What else before we bring? I think we got a guest coming on here shortly.
We can
Yeah,
bring the
John's
guest
on.
up and let him chit chat with everybody.
Okay.
You guys mentioned evictions, and let's pick that up after this.
Okay.
All right.
John
Yeah.
Sledge is our guest.
Okay.
Okay.
And what does John do? John, tell us what you
John.
do.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show today.
Hey, John.
I'm a retired appraiser, and my wife was a retired teacher, and we started a Think Like an Appraiser podcast and education platform. So we work with investors, teaching them how to evaluate their deals and help them to look at it like the appraiser would.
Awesome.
So-
Awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what are some difficult places to appraise right now in Houston?
Actually, I'm in San Antonio. So
okay. Well,
yeah.
What's difficult in San Antonio to appraise? Like, give us an idea. Maybe it's a market or some sort of demographic, or is it just areas that are transitioning that are tough, or what are you looking at?
Well, I think right now, and actually, I'm a retired appraiser, so I don't appraise anymore, and chose to retire because as an appraiser, I wouldn't be able to, if I gave people my opinion or shared or tried to teach, it would be, I'd actually be completing an appraisal. And so what I decided to do was to retire so that we could work with investors. But I think one of the biggest things is, like y'all were talking about a minute ago, there's so many people out there trying to buy and not enough inventory. The same thing here in San Antonio. I don't think we're quite as low as what you guys are seeing over there, but with the multiple offers and the amount of people out buying, with the contract prices on the spike, going up so high, there's not the necessarily the comparable sales to support some of those sales prices. So I know Rich was talking about that last time, where
that was going to be my question, John. I mean, how do you as a seller, what do you recommend to a seller from the appraiser's point of view when everyone in the room knows the house is worth 300, but you had to appraise it at 270? How do you get to 300, or do you even get to 300? Because there's 16 houses for sale for 320, and they're all going to sell for 300 plus. You just don't have enough comps yet.
Right. That's a struggle. I think one of the biggest things people need to do is to communicate with that appraiser, similar to, like, I think it was Steve that just popped up there and said he had 6 offers in 8 hours. While that's not a closed sale, that does tell the appraiser what's going on in that specific market. So I think if they're sharing that information on the multiple offers that they're receiving and what they're seeing around, typically it's the biggest problem for that first sale in that neighborhood. Once there's been some closed sales, then that simplifies the process. But I think just communicating and letting them know how quick and how many offers they got, I think that gives them some insight. They still have to have comparable sales, but they're able to look at the market as it is today and make some decisions.
Can
they information as well?
Can they legally make an adjustment of rising market with a few percent over the comps? Can they do that? And then, as the seller or the seller's agent, how do you approach the appraiser without offending that appraiser and tell him you don't know what you're doing?
Well, yeah. Don't approach him that way.
Yeah.
But as an appraiser, I did it for 15 years, and any information that was given to me, to help me make my determination. I took it as just that, so as much information as you can give, and approaching is just saying, here's the situation. Here's the subdivision. There haven't been any closed sales, but there's this many, that are for sale, and this is how many offers we got. So there is. Go ahead.
So your suggestion is don't duck and wait for the appraisal to appraise, and here's why. And I understand, maybe help you understand what's going on in this neighborhood. Once they set that number.
Exactly. I mean, they can review things, but you're right. And I think the biggest mistake you can make is, and I talk to people all the time, a number, don't wait on it. Let them understand what's going on. Can they make adjustments? Yes, expand out of that neighborhood that sold at the lower price. So they would still have to find a comparable.
Get a little education. Did I hear you say you're in the training business to try to help them?
Exactly. We've been investing about 8 years, and I left appraising a year ago, and we started the Think Like an Appraiser education platform. So we work with investors, and we teach them how to do their due diligence, how to look at the deals like the appraiser would. Because I think one of the, a lot of us look at, okay, this subdivision, you got renovated homes and non-renovated homes, but we really go into more detail and look at the quality ratings the appraiser would use, and teach the investors how to estimate their ARV, build their scope of work based on those sales to compete. And we're actually not just teaching courses. We have a forum inside that platform where the investors can reach out and ask questions. So if during their due diligence, if they've got questions, they reach out, they've got access to me. So it's like having, a valuation expert on retainer. So they've got access to me during.
Great idea. That's a great idea.
Project contractor had walked out on her, and she had comparable sales that I was looking at, and I figured I could sell it for this amount. And she wasn't taking into consideration the size of the home. I mean, it was her first flip, and didn't have anybody guiding her. And that's really what we want to do, is we want to be there when somebody has a problem, whether it's in the middle of their project, when they're doing their due diligence. We want to be there to help them along the way.
John, if I had some Jet customers that wanted to come be part of be a student.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you want to ask this now. So one-on-one about, or is
no, I'm happy to tell you that. So we have two different levels. We have, if you want to just take the courses, it's a $39 a month. You can come in and have access to all our courses. What we recommend is to be a member of the platform. And for $79 a month, you can join our platform. You have access to all our courses. We put them all in video format. I have, what we did is when we started investing is we developed processes and spreadsheets to analyze the deals like I would utilize when I was an appraiser. So we have access to all of our forms and processes in there. And then you have the forum where they have access to us to ask questions. So for $79 a month, they have access to us and our Q&As. And
I like that. That's a great
workshop. If my math is right, that's about $948 a year.
Yes, sir.
It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much of an improvement of an investor to make that money back in a hurry.
And if they want to sign up for 6 months at one time, we'll only make them pay for 5. So
look at there. Yeah,
$395 is kind of what I look at to get them a good deal.
I like that monthly idea. That's good. Yeah, I think
it just seemed to make sense. That way, they're not having to come up with a lot of cash up front to take some courses. And there's lots of good courses out there. And what we decided we wanted to be different was you can get in there and you can take a course, and maybe you get the information figured out, and maybe you don't. And with this, they can ask questions while they're in the class. So,
960.
John, can I ask you a couple questions?
Of course.
Can we go yes or no? What adds to the value of a property? A swimming pool.
It adds to the value. It doesn't add as much as you would invest in the swimming pool.
Okay. HEB.
HEB, that adds to your marketability. It doesn't add to the value of your home.
Okay. Let's say exotic granite versus some sort of Formica countertop, but everything else looks same.
It adds value. I mean, and that's one of the things. And I know you said yes or no, and I'm not doing it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, does it substantiate the investment in the exotic granite? So what you really have to do is, and it's one of the things we teach when you're in analyzing the scope of work for the project, is those properties on the high end in that neighborhood. What do you need to do to compete with those homes? So you don't want to overbuild for the neighborhood, but you also want to make sure that you do enough to compete. And so that's where we really dig in and teach them how to determine what conditions are needed.
As investors, we get wrapped around dollars per square foot, and that's just the gospel, right, to us. And once you have enough times where you talk to appraisers and you deal with this issue, you understand that you have to make adjustments. You just can't say, well, these 3 sold for $70 a square foot. It's $70 a square foot, because 2 out of the 3 had a patio, 400 square foot covered patio that you're not going to add. So had this, and you do have to make these small adjustments to A, either not overpay for the house, or B, not under ask for yours.
Yeah, I agree. And those are all, what we don't want to over complicate when we're teaching the basics of it, but it does all affect it. I mean, it's a line by line. The appraisal is a line by line adjustments, and it's not just a price per square foot. And what we're really looking at is you want to make sure that you're competing with those high end homes so that you can get top dollar, but you also don't want to overbuild. So
sure. But for example, two houses that are both 2,000 square feet, completely remodeled, exact same trim level. One has 4 bathrooms and one has 2. It's not the same price per square foot.
It is not.
And we don't generally look very hard at that as investors. We go by price per square foot, and it's great to have you here to kind of teach that.
Yeah, it does. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, okay, so how much do I add for each bathroom? And that's the hard part, is it's neighborhood to neighborhood. It really depends on how it affects the value in that subdivision. So it really is digging in, and that's what we work with, is teaching people how to look at these details and how to analyze, okay, this is the impact of this, whether it be a swimming pool or an extra bathroom or whatever.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Hey, John, just one last thing here I want to say. Thank you so much.
Yes,
That's very good. I'm going to talk to Johnny and Alex here. What's running in my mind here is run some type of promotion for our customers to take advantage of your service, and it benefits them, benefits you, and in the back end, and benefit us. I got some ideas running in my head. I'm going to talk to Johnny and Alex. We're going to be in touch with you in the next day or so on this. I really like this.
Sounds good. And we appreciate the time, and we'd love to help out your investors and your clients, because we do think that we can help them be more successful and help you guys build some repeat customers. And if they go to our website, we actually have a download 75 due diligence questions to ask your lender and your contractors, and they can have that for free if they just go visit us at our website.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
That's good.
no problem.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Mary
Good.
has a really great statement
Yeah,
or
I saw
question.
that.
Did you see that?
I
I
sure
love
did.
this. And Rich can hop in on it.
Yeah, I got a strong opinion on that too.
Yeah,
Bigger question.
to do bare minimum on a rental because people are temporary.
Rich, you go first and I'll jump in.
Yeah, I have pretty strong opinions on that too. Yeah, I'm not going to replace something that works just fine and looks good. But if I have to replace countertops, I would probably go with a solid surface like a granite, and do a decent granite that's going to match the neighborhood. Because even if it is temporary, there are certain items that you would be not fiscally correct to replace and then have to replace later. Why not just put it in? It's not going to wear out, right? So I think there's certain things you do. You do things differently in the bedrooms. I don't put carpet in any of my rentals. I put laminate plank in every square foot of every rental. I don't put a stitch of carpet because of the transient nature, and because they don't vacuum as often as you and I will vacuum our own homes. They don't last. But I think you fix the house comparable to other rentals in the neighborhood, or you won't get what the comps are. But yeah, you can save some money, and you don't spend what you would on a make ready for a sale.
What's your opinion?
Well, Mary said I was told that you spend the bare minimum on a rental property. She is 100% correct from an ROI standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no doubt about it. And I I live to that rental lifestyle.
Right.
I do. There's no need to go put money in a rent house if you don't have to. But
Oh, this is good.
But
There's a but.
if you're going to refinance that house with the intent to completely get your max loan for whatever reason, you're trying to get your first loan paid off and, you know, get all your repair monies back in your pocket. If you don't really improve it, we just left John talking about the appraisal business. You're going to be disappointed in your value you're going to get on your new appraisal, which means you're going to be disappointed with your new loan amount, which means you're not going to get all your money back in your pocket that you might have spent when you bought it and closed and did improvements. Am I correct, Mr. Hayes?
That's correct. 100%.
I don't know how much carpet is per $1 per square foot to be installed, but when you look at the carpet,
$1.60 to $1.80.
okay, it's cheaper for me just to go ahead and buy pad attached LVP.
Yeah, the LVP is a fantastic product.
LVP is it's waterproof.
Yep.
So if I'm in an area,
the vinyl plank, the
Luxury
30-inch
vinyl
vinyl plank, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
It's not vinyl. It's recycled PVC that looks just like wood, but it's pad attached.
Yeah.
And so when you walk on it, it doesn't go.
We're putting that product down very soon. We call it vinyl planks, what we call it.
Yeah,
we might be using the right term, but that's what we call it.
Well, there's the
30-inch,
flimsy
29 or 30 inch.
No, this is like 6 foot long vinyl planks that are 7 or 9 inches wide.
Okay.
And they're very heavy.
Luxury vinyl plank, LVP.
Yeah,
not just
VP. And you can buy 2 or 3 millimeter thick stuff and it's junk, but the 15 millimeter stuff is good quality.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Because generally speaking, you're going to be replacing carpet every time your tenant moves out if you got carpet. So, and we switched to that too. But example, you got a roof that's 22 years old and it don't look real good, but it don't leak.
Right.
You know, for an ROI standpoint, you do not go replace that roof. From an appraisal standpoint, to maximize your appraisal on your refi, you would have to change out that, roof. Okay. That's the example I'm talking about. But Mary is correct, going back to the question.
And Eddie, let's dig into that roof thing again.
Yeah.
So do you really want to get your loan done and then 3 years down the road have to replace that roof out of your pocket? Or do you want to get it in your loan and you don't have to mess with it later and you don't have an unhappy tenant with a leaky roof? All those things happen. And so there's a difference between doing the bare minimum and doing what's proactively smart, right?
I mean, throw the butt at you, though. But you may not get 3 years out of that roof. You may get 8. You may get 9, and you're way ahead of the game now in your ROI.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got many a house that's rented and the roofs don't look real pretty, but they don't leak. But they don't leak. So why go put a new roof on? So anyway.
Rob Trigg wants to give you a layup question.
What was it?
He's basically, he wants to.
Who's Rob? Never heard of him.
I think he's related to you in some form or fashion. He wants to know, how does a busy street affect values?
Well, we talking residential or commercial? Commercial, the values go up.
Let's say it's
residential,
it's dual zone.
Residential, they go down. There you go. Enough said on that. I hate busy streets and residential.
Yeah, we have a rental on Hillcroft, and it took us forever to rent, and when we sold it, took forever to sell.
I do have a good point to redirect to Eddie on busy street. Eddie owns a house on 11th, right on the corner of 11th. They own a property in the Heights. It was turned into a short-term rental, Airbnb. But that thing, if positioned correctly, that busy street, it's one of the hottest busy streets to be in all of the Heights. It's on 11th. So people in the Heights view busy street different. People in Fairfield or Cypress or whatever, they view that busy street's horrible for them.
There's more to the story than that, but that short-term rental hadn't been vacant in 5 months, not even for a day. Not even for a day.
Is that probably one of your highest grossing rentals?
I don't know. The carrying costs on that deal is high. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, you've got a short-term rental,
Mhm.
and
It's
it hadn't been
performing.
vacant.
It's performing. If
Okay.
that's what you're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Well, I'm debating whether
yeah.
to turn
And it-
mine next to a busy
Yeah.
street and
Yeah.
next to a brewery.
Yeah.
I'm debating whether to turn mine into a short-term rental.
We turned
or sell
another
it.
one into a short-term rental this week
On
Tell-
a busy street.
Oh.
on a busy street.
What
West
area?
Belford.
West Belford.
Westbury.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, on busy street.
And has that one been rented out yet?
No, we just
turned it.
turned the switch on it today.
We got to get it.
What?
We got to
What?
get it furnished
This
first.
is a good question.
Rich, are y'all managing short-term
Yeah.
rentals?
We are not managing short-term rentals as of now. We are not.
But you might get in that business.
We're investigating it. Yes.
All right. Well, you're a sponsor that and participant in this show. I wouldn't throw out I didn't think you were.
You didn't throw a V out?
Buzz Vacation Rentals is managing it.
Can I ask both of
Delete.
y'all or all three of y'all your input? When do you decide to turn a rental into a short-term versus a traditional long-term lease?
Well, hell, we ain't heard of short-term rentals till about a year ago. It's all new to
Well,
us.
I think it's
all new to us.
location. You take a property like in the Heights or Inner Loop that's near a lot of restaurants and a good area that you can get anywhere from. Say people come out of town to go to an Astros game or Texans game or Rockets game, and you go around the corner off of, just take 11th Street over there. You go around the corner and there's a Red Roof Inn that charges $159 a night. And we got a 3-bedroom, 3-story, $1 million house. We can charge $299 a night and put 3 families in there and it stays rented.
And also that house is located right on the bike track.
Yeah.
It's right down the street from Caliance.
Yeah.
Right down the corner is a whiskey and taco shop.
Yeah.
Then they just opened up a whole brand new 2-story building eatery on the other side of that. It's a great area, but their West Belfort location, this is great because West Belfort in that Westbury area has taken a killing with people. No one wants to get in and invest in there, but that area is hot because of 2 things. It's proximity to MD Anderson in the medical center. It's proximity to the Texans. You're a $3.50 Uber ride away during most days.
From everything.
Well, let me throw out a big plug for not only Buzz, but Renters Warehouse here. I don't care if it's regular rentals or vacation rentals. Manage them is a pain in the ass. And go with a professional. Rich, you're set up to do it and you got a staff. It's not an easy business to manage your rentals.
Are you saying if Rich
go-
opened that up, you'd be like, here, Rich, take it over?
I mean, we've got a lady, but yeah, I mean, but I mean, Rich has managed my properties and has managed a few now.
Yeah.
My point being, don't try to manage these things yourself.
Yeah. Manage it like a business.
Well, one of our problems, we just had a complaint from an owner that said, well, what do you do? You're charging me this money every month and you don't do anything. Well, yeah, it seems easy from the outside because you just get a check every month, but we're dealing with the complaint about this and complaint. We shield the owner from all of that. Right. And so,
right.
One of our ideas, we may have to start telling them, hey, we just fixed a problem for you didn't know about because they complain that we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So,
hey, managing this stuff is hard.
It is.
Whether it's short-term or normal rentals. It's tough.
Can I go back real quick? I want to
answer that question.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Barbara, if you go, you tell them Urban Restoration sent you to Modern Home Concepts. It's right off of Hempstead Highway. And my price is $169 for the 9-inch and $149 for 7-inch LVP. Pad attached. Tony Ollie. Do you know Tony very well?
I don't know
Tony is disagreeing with us. This is great. We love disagreement. I wish that you could expand on that, Tony. You have 50 units anywhere in Houston will work for what? Well, I agree. if you're saying short-term rentals will work, I agree with you. They'll work anywhere in Houston. Now, your return may not be the same anywhere in Houston, but I do agree short-term rentals will work anywhere.
Works broad, work well, work good, work
Maximize
great.
return.
I mean, so, yeah, they all work, but I mean, varying degrees of success.
It's just what you just said. Do I want to go?
Yeah.
Do I want to drive 30 minutes out of my way and go to Fort Bend every day and manage a short-term Airbnb in the middle of a subdivision? Or do I want to go someplace every day in the middle of downtown or someplace cool? I know I'm going to be able to charge a different rate during the Stros season or during Texans games or during the rodeo than I ever would. I mean, look at when the Super Bowl came in. We made $14,000 on our property on White Oak for 1 week.
Sweet. Yeah, if you look, we've talked about this before.
We got 28.
I'm sorry, Sugar.
We've talked about this before, but the highest grossing Airbnb area in Greater Houston is Pasadena.
I've heard that. I don't
because all the plants and all the workers, and they go there and they'll stay for a month or 2 months because they're getting per diem.
Yeah.
So don't, just like Curtis said, and Tony said, don't discount other areas. Take a look and see if it may be.
We get hung up on terminology. Too many people, including myself, want to call them vacation rentals. I think probably a better term is short-term rentals. It's the workforce in Pasadena.
Workforce rentals.
People are not going to Pasadena to vacation too often, I don't think. They're going out there to work.
Well, what's your problem? You don't think that people want to go
I don't want Pasadena people to get mad at me over that one. But
I heard there was a bunch of great events going on in Pasadena.
No, Pasadena or Destin. Pasadena or Destin. I'll go Pasadena this week.
Baby, let's go celebrate our anniversary in Pasadena.
Hey, Alex, I don't know if you caught it, but put that information that Curtis said about the flooring in the chat.
Yeah.
And it's off of the people there are great. They'll load you up. You just go in there, tell them Urban Restoration sent you. They treat you like family. It's a Dallas-owned company, and I met them. This is no lie. I met them because I got a free invitation to go to the Builders Expo at NRG. I went there and was walking around. Nothing really made sense, but that thing made sense. It was myself and Jaime Salinas. I don't know if you know Jaime Salinas. He also builds houses, and Yvonne Cazares. And Yvonne's a part of one of the deals that we're doing with y'all in Westbury, right down the street from Belfort.
I see you got an event up there on the screen. Are we supposed to be talking about the 2 events coming up?
In about 3 minutes.
Are they coming up as a guest?
Just as a quick
reminder.
Okay. All right. Okay. Brad coming on. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about evictions.
Dave, lay it on us. That we need to hear about it. You got the floor. Go.
So this CDC moratorium looks like they're not going to renew it as of as of March 31st. I think if they were planning to do it, it would have been in the relief bill. It was not in the relief bill, and I haven't heard a peep out of anybody in the government saying anything. And I think it'd be, the top story on every news channel if they were extending it. That being said, if you have tenants that you're having problems with now, you need to file now, because the CDC, remember, it doesn't stop you from filing. It stops you from making them leave. If you file today, you're not getting a court date till March anyway, or April anyway. File now. So don't wait. And this is CDC moratorium. Looks like it's going away. Be fair with people. Obviously, we're trying our best to be as fair as possible. We're human beings, and there's people who are struggling and doing their damnedest and paying us, once a week instead of once a month. That's different, right? If you need to deal with that. But the people that have been running the game this whole time, file now, because you're going to be able to get them out in April. If something happens and they do some kind of crazy extension, it happens, but you need to file now.
Rich, I have a guy that sold me a property yesterday, and he has 150 units. He said he is having success with evictions if he only does one thing, and he learned this the hard way. He filed 8 evictions, they all won. He went back and refiled, and this time he didn't ask for any back rent, And also those were month to month. They did not have an existing lease in place.
Mhm.
Because they didn't have an existing lease in place and they went month to month, he just asked for the property in kind back. And he was
possession.
Just possession. No back rent, no nothing. And he was awarded the eviction.
Yeah, and we've done that with expiring leases. Someone's lease is expiring and they're not paying, so we don't file an eviction based on that. We just don't renew their lease. However, this CDC moratorium goes away March 31st, and if that's the case, it should be business as usual at the courthouse.
So his solution going forward, in case anything were to ever happen again, he said that he's going to just month to month leases with everybody. Speak to that.
I don't like month-to-month leases. It's too easy for the tenant to just up and leave, right? You don't have any kind of security. We cycle our leases so they expire in the late spring, early summer, and our folks get busy as a beaver in the spring and summer, because that's when everybody's moving. Like we talked about, changing schools, that kind of stuff, changing jobs. People don't move in November; they just don't. So we don't want people to be able to just move whenever they want. And two, we require 60-day notice. We don't 30 days is not going to cut it. You need time, because we're going to get that house on the market before they move out. That kind of stuff. I'm not a fan of month to month at all.
Okay, that's
you go.
good. That's good
Heard
information
it from the master.
Are we ready to add to stream Brad? All right, you take this from here. I don't know Brad.
I know, bro.
Okay.
Tell me when he's up. Hey, there you are. Brad Blazar, what is going on?
All the way from South Florida. How are you all doing today?
Doing good. We're doing good.
Great. Good. It's good to see you guys. What happened to your arm there, Eddie?
Rotator cuff surgery.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too many fastballs.
There you go.
You must have missed him. He was in West Palm Beach with the Stros just like 2-3 weeks ago before the injury.
They brought me out in 3 straight days, ruined my shoulder.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
All right. Hey, we're very pro live events here. We're so glad things are maybe coming back where we can go live with our events and other people's events.
Yes.
But you got one coming up, man, let us have it. And by the time this deal rolls through the next 2 weeks, we'll have, what are we averaging? 10,000 views? 10,000 views in the next 2 weeks on this podcast. So let everybody know what we got, Brad.
Great. Well, we have got an event coming up here in about a month, April 16th and 17th. I've got 10, literally some of the biggest thought leaders in business, in real estate, in mindset, in financial literacy coming to the Woodlands. This really is largely focused on real estate, raising capital. We've got Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington, who's going to be a featured speaker there. He's going to be talking basically about entrepreneurship, how he's created basically multi-million-dollar companies. We have Rockstar Rob Martinez from Houston. For those of you that know Rockstar Rob, he's got about $450 million in his real estate portfolio. He's going to be there as a speaker. I've got Paul Montalago from San Antonio, who is also a multifamily coach. Then we've got a gentleman that is big time in single family. His name is Dave Seymour, and he was an A&E reality television star and the host of a show called Flipping Boston. Basically started as a firefighter, got started doing single family rehabs, got on TV. Now he's got a company called Freedom Investors doing large multifamily. And so over the course of a day and a half, what we're going to be focusing on largely is, number one, how you attract and how you raise investor capital. Over the course of my career, I've raised $2 billion in capital, and I've done it from all sources, whether it's high net worth accredited investors, family offices, insurance companies, pensions, broker dealers, advisory firms. So it doesn't really matter where you are in your journey of attracting investor capital. We're going to be largely talking about that, but it's really an opportunity to network, to connect with some major thought leaders. We have Sharon Lechter, who is literally the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She wrote that with Robert Kiyosaki. They've sold 42 million books. She's been the personal financial advisor to 2 U.S. presidents. I mean, this is an event that you really do not want to miss, folks. It's going to change the game. You're going to learn from people that have created multi-million dollar businesses. The networking alone is well worth the price of admission. We have 4 different ticket options. You can get in the door for as little as $297. And if you want more exposure and more networking, you want access to the speakers over the course of lunch, things like that, you can obviously select a higher ticket. But this really, I think, is going to be the premier event for 2021. Like you said, Eddie, we're getting back out. Face mask mandate has been lifted in Texas. Got a beautiful resort there in the Woodlands. Come spend a day and a half and really learn from some of the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, Brad, I shared a stage 2 weekends ago with Robert Martinez. You're in for a treat. If you haven't heard him speak live, he's from Houston, and he's the only 2-time National Independent Apartment Owner of the Year.
Yep.
And I didn't know this. You can only win that award once every 6 years.
Wow.
We won in like 2013 and 2019. Great guy. Amazing energy. If people go and listen to him, for me, he was worth. I was up on stage and I was just mesmerized. I was just like,
that's why they call him Rockstar Rob. He was just down in Miami, of course, with Grant Cardone at 10X GrowthCon. I saw him there hanging out with a lot of people. I mean, basically, if you look at people that have spoken at 10X, I've had many of them on my podcast. I've had many of them at my events. Coach Michael Burt, for those of you that follow Coach Burt, he is considered America's super coach. He's been a 10X speaker. Rockstar Rob, fantastic. We got, of course, like I said, Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington's going to be there as a speaker. This is an opportunity literally to take your business to the next level. The ideas, the networking, just one idea backed with some effort and action can literally create $100,000, if not $1 million opportunity in your life. And what I find largely in my business is when I'm exposed to people that have altitude over me, that are doing things I want to do, it just inspires the heck out of me. It's like, man, you're not doing enough, and I'm doing a lot. But when I see some of these people that are doing more, it just really takes me and my business to the next level. So there's the website right there, www.bradblazer.com/CapitalCon. And, we got sponsorship opportunities. I know Jet Lending is going to be a sponsor. Jet will be there. They'll have a table. They'll be networking. They see the value of getting in the room. So really, for those of you that are listening to this, check out the website we've created, the landing page. Take a look at the video that Kevin Harrington has created. Take a look at the other videos that are there. The other thing that we're also going to be previewing on Friday night is the movie Think and Grow Rich. If you've ever read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, that is a fantastic work of art. What John Shin did, who was the executive producer, is he approached Napoleon Hill's foundation and he said, hey, I want to bring this book to life. And in that book, he's got some superstars, Grant Cardone, Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, NFL legend Warren Moon, many, many other people like Les Brown are in this movie where they're taking basically the book, they're bringing it to life, and that's going to be previewed there at the event as well. So buy your tickets. Love to see you. It's going to be an action-packed event. Obviously, space is limited. I think we can go up to about 400, 500, 600 now in the event center because the mask mandate has been lifted. But if you've never been to the Woodlands Resort, it is a world-class facility. Golf, they got a spot. You can hang out with the kids at the pool. But like I said, it's largely focused on how to attract and how to raise investor capital, how to build that network, how to put together your deal. If you've never created an offering memorandum or a private placement memorandum, we're going to be talking about Reg A, Reg CF, which is crowdfunding, 506C, so that you can now use your crowdfunding platforms. You can use your social media. We're going to be going into all of that stuff. We're also going to be going into how these big-time real estate entrepreneurs analyze deals, getting into the mindset of Robert Martinez, Paul Montalago, Dave Seymour, who also is now doing multifamily. And so if you're looking to really just, get a better understanding of how some big-time real estate entrepreneurs are scaling their business, what they're doing today, this is an event you definitely want to take a look at and put on your calendar.
Brad, is the event also being offered virtually for those that may not want to attend or cannot attend in person, or is it strictly an in-person event?
No, we will be offering a live stream as well. Those tickets will go on sale in about 2 weeks, Eddie. And so we will make a major announcement across our social media platforms. So those live stream of tickets for people that are listening out of state or in other markets that simply do not want to attend in person, they can certainly do that from the comfort of their home as well. You bet.
Good. All right. Well, Jet Lending will be there to sponsor you, sir.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
All
I'm
right.
looking forward to seeing you guys.
Rich,
Have to get renters. We have to get Renters Warehouse out there. Be a sponsor.
yeah. Yeah.
We got you guys as a sponsor. We have the world's largest electronics distributor as a sponsor, multi-billion-dollar company. We got qualified custodians that do self-directed IRAs there. We got Rockstar Rob, so we got Rockstar Capital as a multifamily sponsor. And so, if you're in the real estate business and you're interested in the sponsorship opportunities, you get a table in the exhibit hall. You get time up on stage, introduce who you are. You get tons of networking. I guarantee you'll come out of that event as a sponsor with business that will more than cover your cost of admission.
Yeah. Hey, Rich, meet Brad. Brad, meet Rich. Hey, Brad, Rich wants to sponsor up
Hey,
there.
Rich.
Hey, and let me guess, Eddie wants a referral fee. Imagine that.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Brad.
Good stuff, man. Thank you, Brad.
so much. Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much, Eddie, for being a sponsor and help us get some butts in seats. And I look forward to everybody being there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good. All right. With all that money up there, the only thing I'm worried about, they're going to let me in that parking lot with my Ford pickup.
If you'll wash it, they will. All that red dirt on it, they may not.
I drive up in that Ford pickup. They like put a weed eater in my hand. I'm there do some trimming work around there.
It's the Woodlands, man. It's the Woodlands.
All right. What can you tell folks new about Jet today? Anything?
Well, the key to this business out there is you got to build a team. And one of your key people out there is your lender. Where are you going to get your money from? Most investors don't realize if you're buying distressed property or property that needs work, that's why there's companies like Jet Lending out there, not only to help close quickly, but also to help analyze the deal for you, make sure you're getting in a good deal, and make sure you're successful. I will say this, for the 17 years that we've been in business, we've told as many people that ain't a good deal for you. If they're not buying it right, here's where you need to be buying it. Make sure they're going to make money, because if we put a person in a deal that's not a good deal, that bad deal is going to end up being our deal, and we're going to lose that customer forever. If we can make these guys successful, put them in good deals, we got a client for life. And that's what's kept us successful, because guess what? We want to be here another 17 years to make sure we're the best hard money company, asset-based lender in Texas.
And
Well, go ahead. I'm going to ask Rich.
if you're looking for property right now to buy or places to go and advertise for distressed properties, I was researching to try to find out what the hottest neighborhoods were year over year. So I gave you some data, and I just wanted to go through hit a couple real quick. Memorial Park leads the list with the highest year over year percentage appreciation, 28.3%. The median home price, though, $1.495 million. Jet Lending would love to do a 2% origination, 3% origination, and a 15 to 20% interest loan on that, or maybe less. I don't know, depending. Rice in the Museum District, 11%. $1 million is the median home price. A place that's right next to me is Edo. This is way more affordable. I see a lot of deals that come by. Edo is traditionally, I would say it's a what do you call it? Where everything's built right up next to it and going vertical. Yeah, it's like a townhome, very close,
It's turning
proximity living neighborhood. What really shocked me, and this is where I wanted to get some opinions. The worst neighborhood, I understand this one, Braeswood Place. That place took a bath because of the flood.
Well,
and then the next one, though, this was the one that is inconceivable to me, is Afton Oaks. Year over year, negative 39%, Rich.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right across the street from the Galleria.
I would doubt that data.
Yeah.
I would too.
All right.
Interesting.
Braves would be in -14. I would like to see how they come up with that, because certainly, this is 2021. Harvey was it 17?
Yes.
2017, right? Am I right on that? So we're soon be 4 years. It was a Labor Day is when it happened. So we'll soon be 4 years.
These guys also
And
won in
certainly-
17.
And certainly,
Houston strong.
certainly the first year, second year, they take a beating, but we're approaching 4 years. I would expect that number depends on what they're comparing it to. They're comparing 2020 to 2019, which says 1 year. That's what it indicates. And I just can't imagine that it would still be down 14% over the 19.
This is from is from Paper City.
Yeah. Okay.
Riverside Terrace comes in next with 13.8% and an average price of $370,000.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you follow the HAR statistics globally, we're running at depend on which data you read, 7 to almost 12% globally for Houston 1 year. And that's from HAR stats. And we talked about that in here last month or 2 months ago. On that very, very note.
From the Chronicle, I have the number 1 through 10 hottest areas to buy property in Houston. Number 1 is Greater Heights. Number 2 was River Oaks. Number 3 was Uptown Galleria. Number 4 was Edo.
Now, that's the first one you brought up that's true in an investor market.
Yeah.
Those others, they're not investor markets, really.
I think that you can, in the Galleria area, where I see some people making money, is if they buy the townhome or they buy a condo.
But that's the volume ain't there.
I
You got volume.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm just saying these are the number 1 fastest
Okay.
appreciating and fastest selling
Right.
areas.
This investor shows. I'm just going to point out the ones that are investor driven.
Okay. The museum district, 77004.
Not investor driven.
Okay. I see a lot of stuff coming
You
in
see
from
some yeah.
Riverside Terrace. I see a lot. I see a lot in Shinevert. I see a lot of 004 coming in right off of 288.
Okay, but that ain't museum district.
Not if it's east of 288.
You trying to tell me 288 and Airport's museum district?
No, it's got to be on the west side of 288.
Downtown
That ain't
Houston.
museum district.
Downtown Houston.
It's not investor driven.
Okay. They consider downtown Houston to be Heights, Montrose, Northside Village, and Edo.
Okay, well,
West University.
that's a builder
That's for a building.
That's an
Builders.
investor. A builder is an investor.
to a certain extent. I
River
guess,
Oaks
yeah,
is a builder or an
Yeah,
investor.
and that's mostly scrapes. You won't do many rehabs.
Correct. The average price is $1.4 million. Average price per square foot, 412.
Yeah.
Rice Military comes in number 8. What do you think about that? Because that's all builder
Wait,
driven.
if you get to Wayside and Tidwell, that's where I make my money.
Yeah.
Number 9. This is your area.
Where?
Humble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now,
Okay.
now we got something good to talk about.
Okay. 935 active rental listings
yeah,
at the time that they reported.
And what's
this.
your average? What's your average?
1650 was the average rent rate.
No. Well, you're talking about 1 minute ago. You said average price 1.4 mil. That's not an investment.
Average price was 249,000,
There you go.
and that was trending up year over year, 8.7%.
Yeah. Okay.
Average price per square foot, $111. Rich, you
Jim,
seeing Humble being 1650?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty common out there.
Okay.
Yeah, rents have gone up.
And then coming in last is Rich's neighborhood, Webster.
Webster coming in last in the top 10.
Coming in 10th, which would be last out of 1 through 10.
Yeah, I know that area pretty well too. But it's surrounded by, Friendswood, Clear Lake, all these other little things. Webster's, there's a whole lot of commercial in Webster. It's not a ton of residential.
Do you want me to tell you this? The average home price, Rich, was $235,000 in Webster, and since last year, it's up 27%.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
I think
Hell, my daughter's in the Woodlands. Her house was 230, 240 last year. She's talking about putting it up for 380.
Yeah.
And it'll comp.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, Rich, you want to manage some more houses, don't you?
Yeah, we got our rent advance program up and running. So if you're interested, we rent your house out and you get the whole year's rent up front with a small discount.
Okay.
Basically 10% haircut and you can have all your rent. Takes all the risk away. Collection risk is gone.
I like that.
So
I like that a lot.
It's up and running. So we'll have to dig into that a little bit sometime.
Yeah, we need to revisit that. That's the deal we touched on a meeting or two ago, right? That's right. I want to hear more about that myself.
It's
You still got some money to loan?
Hey, we've got money every day to loan.
Okay.
For all those investors that want to buy and hold or buy and flip, hey, jetlending.com. I know you're seeing our marketing out there. We're busy, and right now is a great time.
Yeah, I just saw Kevin Messer post something about your long-term product at around 5% and change. Tell us about that, Johnny.
Well, for most of the investors, there was a time when if you weren't full doc, those investors couldn't go get loans. Now that the non-QM market's back out there and rates are dropping since they're low, we're down in the 5s for a non-qualified mortgage for an investor that only has to show the income of the rental based off of the cost of what the mortgage is instead of their own personal debt to income. And if they write off all their income, they don't have to prove any of that. They don't need tax returns. They basically just need to base it off the rent. And we're helping investors be back in the landlord business.
Is there a DCR rate that they need to stay with?
Normally, you need to be above. Now, some may be at a 1.1. Some of the better rates may be at a 1.2. But as long as your cost is larger, your income's larger than your cost, we can still find a
that is a
long-term deal.
30-year
loan. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Good stuff, guys.
Yes, sir.
Good show.
Well, it's brisk. It is. It's very active out there. So I like that. Appraisers.
Great. Fantastic.
Both guests were great.
Program.
Both guests were great.
Got a capital con coming up. People want to raise some big money, and there's Think Realty's coming to town March 26th and 27th. They're a national bunch. They're going to be at the Marriott down in the Galleria. So that's a show that's coming up, in-person show. So y'all give Jet Lending a call, Renters Warehouse a call, give Curtis a call. Where do you make your money? Building houses?
I am helping manage projects for investors now.
Okay, all right. But if someone wanted to hire you as a builder, they could hire you as a builder.
Absolutely, I do a bunch. I do a lot of custom homes.
Yep. I knew that, and you've done some work for Rich.
I did do some work for Rich, and then Rich decided he wanted to take over the rest of it.
Yeah.
You do good work. I've seen some of your stuff.
Oh man, I've got that project with y'all on Sanford. I just posted the video of it today.
Looks good.
Ooh, it's sexy.
All right. Thank you, Curtis. As always, good job as our host. This was Curtis's brainchild from the get-go. What, 2 years ago?
It was my reason to hang out with you.
There it is, Curtis. What do you think?
I love it. It looks great, dude.
Okay. All right.
Look at that.
Did a good job, man. Did a great job.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Good job, Rich.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.